Step closer, travelers, and hearken to the whispers of Silverpine Forest. Feel the mist cling to your cloak as the ongoing struggle between the Forsaken and the Worgen unfolds beneath these tall, silver-barked pines. Steel yourselves, for the path is fraught with peril, and our journey is one of discovery, where the stories of lost kingdoms are as shadow-laden and rich as the soil beneath our boots. As the humble lawmaster of this land, I bid you to tread softly through these ancient woods within the Eastern Kingdoms. In an era long before conflict scarred its landscape, Silverpine Forest was a verdant region under the vigilant guard of the Alliance. It was a time of peace when laughter could be heard from the villages and the woods thrived with life. Alas, the tranquility was not to last. The Third War brought a chilling wind, and with it, the plague of undeath. As the forces of the Lich King invaded, leaving destruction and the stench of death in their wake, the insidious plague did not spare the forest's very essence. The rich canopy turned pale, the trees themselves becoming lifeless, sickened by the spread of undeath. The noble kingdom of Lordaeron, protectors of the realm, fell to ruin, and Silverpine was left to decay, a shadow of its former self. From these ruins, the Forsaken, led by the Banshee Queen Sylvanas Windrunner, arose. They claimed the northern reaches of Silverpine, their presence a statement of defiance against both the Scourge and the living. The Royal Apothecary Society, agents of the Forsaken, brought with them dark alchemical experiments, known as Blight or the New Plague, in a bid to eradicate the remaining forces of the Lich King. At the same time, the kingdom of Gilneas locked themselves away from the events of the outside world, including the undead plague, by closing the gates of the immense Greymane wall. Faced with a grim decision for survival, the denizens of Gilneas unleashed the Worgen onto the forests of Silverpine in a desperate attempt to bolster their defenses against the relentless advance of the undead scourge. When the Worgen curse spread to Gilneas, its citizens transformed into the fearsome Worgen themselves, leading to a civil war within the walls of the city. The people of Pyrewood village, located below Shadowfang Keep in the southwest of Silverpine Forest, were particularly affected by the curse. It is rumored that these afflicted souls transform into Worgen at night, attacking both the Alliance and Horde indiscriminately. Today, the southern parts of Silverpine remain a bastion for the remnants of humanity, including refugees of the shattered Gilnean kingdom and learned wizards from the mage city of Dalaran. In the throes of these unending battles, the woods have become a land contested by many. The land itself is a patchwork of dominion, with ruins and fields held by either the lingering scourge or the warring factions. Alliance and Forsaken, Worgen and Undead, all staking their claim. So come, wander through the shrouded glades, delve into the conflict-ridden past, and be part of the legend of Silverpine Forest. The vast and ancient woodlands of Silverpine stretch along Lordaeron's rugged western coastline. This formidable forest finds itself bordered by the ruins of Gilneas to the south, the haunted woods of Tirisfal Glades to the north, and the war-torn Hillsbrad foothills to the southeast. The waters of Lordaemere Lake act as a natural barrier, guarding the forest's eastern threshold, separating the land from the Alterac Mountains. Silverpine is a realm embraced by a pervading silence that is only shattered by the occasional howls that echo through the silver-bark trees. The soft mists swirl gently near the moist, pine-needle-covered earth, carrying with them the rich evergreen scent of the forest, mixed with an air of decay and malaise. The sky seems to mourn the wood's fate, casting a pale, sorrowful gloom across the land. The terrain of Silverpine is a landscape as diverse as it is dramatic, ranging from deceptively serene flatlands to undulating hills and imposing mountain ranges. In the northern reaches of the forest, the Forsaken hold their dominion. These undead beings, released from the Lich King's grasp and united under Sylvanas Windrunner, claim Silverpine as their own. Their numbers include the Death Guard, a relentless patrol that weaves through the woods, and the Royal Apothecary Society, whose presence is marked by their pursuit of alchemical horrors. Despite the Forsaken's claim, Silverpine is far from peaceful. The forest is a battleground where the remnants of humanity are caught between the iron grip of the Forsaken in the north and the desperate howls of the worgen in the south. The wizards of Dalaran, with their increased expeditions, challenge the Forsaken's hold in a bid to unravel the mysteries of the undead plague. The environment here whispers tales of decay. The trees are sickly, their branches clawing at the sky, and a persistent ghostly fog clings to the underbrush. Moss drapes over the forest's overhangs, quivering in the chill air that the breeze carries from the coast. The earth itself bears the pallor of blight. The plant life shows the corruption that swept through this land. It is a land marred by remnants of the past. Ruined farmhouses, their fields overtaken by rot, and abandoned mines whose depths are best left unexplored dot the landscape. Formidable beasts such as bears and wolves are natural inhabitants of Silverpine. The forest is also home to the Rot-hide Gnolls, a band of creatures as pitiful as they are savage, marked by the plague's corruption. Their grey, patchy fur and sickly yellow eyes speak of their suffering and their viciousness. From their stronghold on Fenris Isle, they wage an endless guerrilla war against both the Forsaken and any who dare venture too close. The most prominent creatures that roam the forests of Silverpine are the worgen. They are large, lupine humanoids that walk upright but can run on all fours. The worgen curse is transmitted through being bitten by or drinking the blood of an inflicted member. Worgen that are unable to control their emotions eventually lose all connection to their former lives and become ravenous beasts. This woodland cloaks its secrets in perpetual twilight, where the whispers of the ancients stir amidst the silvered pines. It is a land where survival is a testament to the resilience of its inhabitants, be they beast, cursed human, or risen unlife. In the hush of the cold breeze and the stillness of the ghostly fog, the forest holds its breath, harboring tales that beckon the courageous to unveil the mysteries long shrouded in its hauntingly beautiful expanse. Our tale unfolds beneath the haunted skies of Lordaeron, where the forsaken Undercity lies hidden in the embrace of the ruins above ground. From the shadowed gates, a fellowship of adventurers emerge, eager to traverse the further reaches of this part of the world. Among them are newly risen forsaken explorers who have yet to set foot into Silverpine Forest. Arthas's cold and overwhelming shadows linger heavily upon these lands, a relentless tide of death and despair. But in the hearts of the Forsaken, a fierce determination brews. Their path first leads them to the Ivar patch, a pumpkin farm fallen into despair. Memories of prosperity and the laughter of farmhands linger like ghosts among the now twisted vines and withered pumpkins. This land, like so many others, fell victim to the mercilessness of the scourge, transforming all it touched into agents of decay. Ivar the Foul, the proud owner of this farm, now roams his plagued lands as a ghoul. The scourge of undeath that ravaged Lordaeron did not spare him, his family, or his workers. They now exist in a ghastly parody of their former lives, their humanity stripped away, leaving only a hunger for the flesh of the living. Nearby, the explorers come across the Deadfield, another decrepit and abandoned farm. Shrouded in mystery, the fate of its original inhabitants remains unknown, but their absence has given rise to a new and sinister presence. The Rot-hide Gnolls, vile servants of the Scourge, have claimed this forsaken place as their base. At the heart of the Deadfield, the group encounters Nightlash, a banshee whose mournful wails echo through the broken fences and barren fields. She seems to command the undead band of Gnolls, leading them with a spectral grace that belies her malevolent intent. The increasing number of these Gnolls in the area hints at a larger threat at play, a darker plan yet to unfold. Our journey takes us to the shores of the Decrepit Ferry, where a ghastly discovery awaits. A boat laden with corpses destined for Fenris Isle. The adventurers come across an inscribed golden ring that says, "For Delia," clutched in the icy grip of a woman recently deceased. When they bring the ring to High Executor Hadric, he tells them that the only nearby source for such a body would be the mass graves of Tirisfal. The Rot-hide Gnolls must be taking these bodies to Fenris Isle. A lingering question remains: who orchestrates these morbid deeds from the shadows of that cursed isle? As they piece together the evidence, a picture begins to emerge, one of dark sorcery and restless death. It all leads to the mage Thule Ravenclaw, who is particularly powerful in necromancy. Once a mage of promise before the Third War, Thule fell from grace by pledging himself to the Lich King. Betraying his peers, he stole a wand they had created together, hiding it in Fenris Keep. There, Thule embraced his necrotic sorcery, commanding the Rothide Knolls and haunting the region with apparitions. Determined to unravel the mystery, the brave adventurers make the crossing and carve a path through the gnoll-infested castle to face Thule himself. In a fierce battle, Thule is defeated, his head taken as evidence of their victory. To everyone's surprise, another head murmurs amongst the slain gnolls. It is the talking head of Alaric. Alaric was the loyal servant and bodyguard to Ravenclaw, who promised him protection against the scourge, but instead condemned Alaric to a fate worse than death. He decapitated Alaric, leaving his head for the gnolls' amusement. Moved by the head's tale, the adventurers take up the morbid charge to bring Alaric's head to the rest of his body, buried unceremoniously in an unmarked grave. The deed is solemn, and Alaric's final resting place gives him comfort. But before the adventurers seal the alcove, Alaric hands the explorers a final item: a woven wand, intertwined with the fates of Thule's old colleagues. The wand, a symbol of a shattered brotherhood, must now be taken to Bethor Ice Shard in the magic quarter of the Undercity. Bethor is taken aback by the sight of the wand he thought lost to the winds of betrayal. Deciding to honor the past and build a hopeful future, Bethor resolves to repurpose the wand's magic for the protection of Undercity. With a grateful nod to the adventurers, he assures them that their efforts have not only returned a relic, but also helped heal old wounds. Beneath the rustling of leaves above, our band of adventurers tread determined along the winding paths. Their journey leads them to the western fringes of the forest, to a place steeped in both history and foreboding: the Sepulcher. The Forsaken, those resilient souls bound by undeath yet striving for a place in the world, have claimed this crypt as their base of operations. Its old tombs and mausoleums, once a final resting place for the departed, now pulse with a different kind of life, or something akin to it. As our adventurers enter this enclave, they are greeted by Ren Ferrell, a member of the Royal Apothecary Society of the Forsaken. He sends the travelers to Farinell in Undercity, a master of alchemy, whose experiments hold the key to understanding, and perhaps overcoming, the plague of scourge that ravaged these lands, and seeks to create a new plague using various animal organs as ingredients. The adventurers set off on a quest for the crucial components needed for this deadly brew, also known as Blight, a weapon potent enough to vanquish the scourge and any human threats, once and for all. The calculating eyes of apothecary Ren Ferrell gleam with a mix of anticipation and dark satisfaction as the Forsaken explorers return. Each report they deliver, each ingredient they gather, propels them further along a path fraught with moral ambiguity, a new recipe for death. With every stride towards the completion of the new plague, they find themselves more deeply entangled in the Forsaken's intricate web of alchemy, where the line between right and wrong blurs in the pursuit of power and survival in the world of Azeroth. Our fellowship of Forsaken adventurers make their way to the deep Elem mine. Formerly known for its riches, the mine has since fallen into the claws of the worgen. A dark magic has seeped into its very veins, transforming it into a lair for creatures far removed from the miners who used to toil within its depths. Led by Grimson the Pale, the mine's old foreman, these cursed beings have claimed the mine as their own. The corridors that rang with the sound of pickaxes and laughter are now shrouded in mystery and danger. In Silverpine Forest, there is one mage in particular whose interests and research have been especially focused on the lupine curse that has befallen the region, Dalar Dawnweaver. Initially an archmage of the Kirin Tor, Dawnweaver's life took a dramatic turn during the scourge attack on Dalaran. In this catastrophic event, he met his undoing, but was not granted the peace of death. Instead, he was raised as part of the undead army controlled by the Lich King. However, Dalar's story did not end there, and was eventually freed from the Scourge's grasp by the Dark Lady. As a Forsaken, he found a new purpose, aligning himself with their cause. Dawnweaver's aspiration centers on bringing an end to the worgen reign, seeking to restore balance and safety to the lands he now guards. His focus on this curse is driven by a combination of personal interest in arcane maladies, strategic necessity, and perhaps a sense of responsibility, given his background as a Kirin Tor mage and his understanding of the dangers of unchecked magic. The encounter with the worgen here is but a glimpse of the dark tide sweeping over Silverpine. The brave souls realize that what they have seen in the mine is only the beginning. In the shadowed corners of Silverpine, more challenges await, and the true extent of the worgen's curse and its implications for the forest and beyond remain to be fully uncovered. In this land, appearances can be deceiving, and the journey ahead promises revelations that might change their understanding of the worgen and the forces at play in these woods. As we traverse the dense forests, our footsteps are guided by the rumors and tales of Ambermill village, a once unassuming human settlement. Its history traces back to the time when it served as a humble lumber harvesting outpost within the kingdom of Gilneas. The tranquility of Ambermill was shattered when the Scourge unleashed their dark forces upon the land, leaving scars that would forever alter its fate. Recognizing its strategic significance, the wizards of Dalaran moved in and took control of the town. The Forsaken explorers discover that Ambermill is engaging in suspicious activities, notably the shipping crates from Hillsbrad. To uncover the wizards' plans, the group retrieves a crate, finding maps and a mysterious rune-inscribed pendant inside. They bring the pendant to Shadow Priest Alistair and Dalar Dawnweaver at the Sepulcher. It is revealed that the wizards aim to reactivate a dormant ley energy node in Ambermill for an unknown but potentially dangerous purpose. To disrupt the mage's operations, the Forsaken band of adventurers confront and defeat the powerful Archmage Eteric, who oversees the ley node's reactivation. The Archmage's defeat halts the magical activity, preventing the immediate threat to the Forsaken in Silverpine Forest. But the presence of such potent energy nearby remains a concern for the future. As the last glimmers of twilight fade over Ambermill, the weary travelers set their sights on the Greymane wall, the formidable barrier that marks the boundary of the kingdom of Gilneas. Behind its towering presence, secrets churn in the shadows, and a curse whispers on the wind. Constructed by King Gen Greymane to separate his kingdom from the rest of the world, the wall initially served its intended purpose, keeping Gilneas and its citizens safe from the rest of the world and the horrors of the Scourge. As the undead numbers swelled, King Greymane realized that staying idle was no longer an option. It was here that Archmage Arugal presented his desperate gambit, a plan to unleash the feral might of the worgen against the invading darkness. The Archmage's incantations were potent and wild, and the air crackled with arcane energies as a rift bridged two distant realms. From the Emerald Dream stepped forth the worgen, creatures of rage and untapped power. As they descended upon the undead, the tide of battle shifted, the Scourge buckling under the ferocity of their newfound adversaries. Alpha Prime, the leader of the worgen, a force of nature in wrathful flesh, led the charge, carving a swath through the undead ranks. For a brief, hopeful moment, the people of Gilneas dared to dream of victory. These beasts, however, were not the saviors they had been hoped to be. The respite they offered was fleeting, as their bloodlust proved indiscriminate, turning against Gilneas and the Scourge alike. The city was thrown into chaos as friend turned on friend, spreading the worgen curse like wildfire. The Archmage, driven mad with guilt, pledged allegiance to Alpha Prime, ensnaring himself into a web of betrayal. The noble Baron Silverlane, whose keep watched over the village of Pyrewood, could not have fathomed the nightmare that would befall his land. As dusk falls upon Pyrewood, a transformation most grotesque befalls its inhabitants. Here, our travellers bear witness to the curse's cruel bite, an affliction they too may bear should fate turn its wicked hand. With each nightfall, the line between man and beast blurs, and innocent men and women are turned into the Moonrage Pack, unwittingly expanding the ranks of the worgen menace. The worgen's ferocity knew no bounds as they laid siege to the fortress, transforming it to Shadowfang Keep. Under the control of Alpha Prime and the maddened Arugal, the keep became a bastion of darkness over Pyrewood village. Within its stone walls, the wolf cult emerged, fixated on finding the elusive scythe of Elem. It is even whispered that the spirit of Baron Silverlane still roams the keep. It now falls on the shoulders of brave horde adventurers at the behest of Deathstalker Ferry to undertake a dire mission to assassinate the entire Pyrewood Council. With the Archmage distracted inside Shadowfang Keep, the Council's end will sever his control over the cursed villagers, paving the way for the Dark Lady's influence to extend within Silverpine Forest. As Ferry and the adventurers prepare to strike, the fate of Pyrewood hangs in the balance, its future resting on the outcome of their secret endeavour. As our journey through the mystic and shadowed paths of Silverpine Forest comes to a close, we find ourselves at the border of the Hillsbrad foothills, where new adventures await. Guided by your humble lawmaster, we've traversed a realm where the forsaken battle for control and the worgen's curse lingers. Holding those memories close, we bid farewell to Silverpine, carrying with us the stories and secrets it revealed. Until our paths cross again in the vast world of Azeroth, dear travellers. May your adventures be many and your spirits forever brave.